Hey and welcome, itsmsKIRA Speaks. Please do me a favor and watch the videos till the end. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. We're back again for another episode of Growing Up Hip Hop, Season 7, Episode 5, Secrets, Snowcones, and Scuffles. So as our episode opens, we see Sequoia and she's visiting Brianna, who's somewhere rehearsing her music, and they start talking about the 50th hip hop anniversary. Sequoia says that she'd love to be a part of it, but she's unsure because of the whole Lazy situation. That's how I feel about the Lazy situation. So Brianna says she's going to have a get together. It's going to be, a super casual vibe, and everyone is invited, even Cree. But she's apprehensive because Cree is unstable. Pot, meet kettle. So Sequoia says that she threw her a shady comment, and we flash back to the skate party. Told ya, right message, wrong messenger. But Sequoia, be for real. And she says, because the two of them aren't close and they don't really know each other. And I get that, but still it was like, you doing just a little bit too much. So Brianna, she plans to have a conversation with her to see what's going on. We go over to JoJo and he's visiting his business partner at his company, 3 is 4, which is a content branding agency. They do cannabis content and weed is legal in California, but his partner says it's not fully legal in New York. And I'm not sure when he did this because I thought it was legal here, although maybe he said fully, so maybe it's not fully legal. And I don't know because it's none of my business. So he's telling JoJo that he's needed there in California, but JoJo's like, he's an East Coast dude. He doesn't know if he wants to move to California, but at least if he moves, he'll have Vanessa that lives there. They've been looking to buy a house, and he says Tanise does want to live in California, but he's not sure. He doesn't want to tell her that he's going to look at houses. And I was like, he says it's because he wants to surprise her and he doesn't want her to be disappointed. So his partner is telling him that good houses are in demand. So if you see a house you like, put in an offer. So later he takes Eric to see this house. And I said, why? Because I already knew it was going to be a problem. It's in a really nice neighborhood from what we could see in the background. He says he's been putting in offers on houses in New York, but he hasn't been winning any of the offers. So JoJo does take video while he's there to show Tanise. Whole time he's like, wow, this is nice. That's the vibe JoJo was on. And I was like, you're just not even going to make the people work for it. You're just going to let them know off the rip how much you really love this house. And it was a beautiful house, but me personally, I wasn't a fan of the staircase. And then it had white marble floors all throughout the house. And I just kept thinking, she has kids and a new baby. That's not them marble floors. My mother had, what does she have in her kitchen? I don't know. The tile is hard. So I know marble is, it's not ideal for kids. So the lady's telling him that she has somebody coming to see it later and that she has 5 offers and 1 verbal. So JoJo decides to go ahead and make an offer. And he says, he always wanted to surprise his mom with the house. And so now maybe he'll do it for his wife. And I was like, your mom? Yes. But even still, now that I think about it as a woman, that's kind of weird too, but definitely not your wife. No woman wants you to gift her a house that she hasn't seen yet. What if you gifted a house and she doesn't like it? But I digress. So Sam is at the studio when Eric and Lazy come to visit, and he says he's not going to do solo music anymore. He plans to write. He says he writes better for others and he'd love to tour and perform, but people don't want to hear his music. No, we don't, Sam. So he plays a track that he made for Egypt, and it's more of a pop feel. And to me, I was kind of because I don't really know that Egypt's pop, but I don't know what her style is because she sings, but sometimes she raps. And to me, sometimes she's a better rapper than singer. I don't know. And like I said, to me, it was okay, but Lazy calls it a smash and he's calling Sam Quincy Jones. And I was like, are you being serious? So he invites him to the 50th anniversary hip hop tribute concert. Again, no. Nobody wants to see Sam at all. But Lazy also says that he's unsure because of the conversation that he and Tretch had earlier in the season. So then Sam talks about how his case is still pending and they confiscated an AR-15. Eric is telling him there is no reason for you to carry stuff like that in Vegas. And then Sam starts to bring it up easy, like how he was carrying stuff bigger than, and Eric's like, yeah, he was rich. You can do things differently when you got money. Plus, Eazy-E was a legend, and it was a different generation. This is not the 80s, 90s, when it, like, that's not gonna fly. So Sam says he'd rather have house arrest because he wants to stay home anyway. He starts to tell him about this food truck, and he said, well, actually, it's snow cones. So Eric thinks it's a bad idea and something that he should potentially wait on. And from what we saw, because they played later in the episode, like a little middle scene, like not a whole scene, but you know, in between the commercials, it's not snow cones. It's more like Italian ices is what it looked like. And he was outside a weed store selling them, and Tyran visited him, and he said he can make $6,000 to $12,000 a month. And I was like, I mean, I guess at least it's good that he's in Vegas and it's, you know, basically hot and dry all the time. So you might want a little snow cone. Like here on the East Coast, that there would be months that he would have no business. Like the majority of the year, he'd have no business. So Cree, she goes to meet with Vanessa. And, you know, they're having lunch, and Vanessa's showing off her post-surgery body. And so Vanessa asked about the skate party, and Cree's like, listen, Twist wanted me and Brianna to get together and have a conversation, but it was clear that Brianna was inebriated. So Cree she looking kind of, so Vanessa's asking her if she's okay, and she says she's dealing with her grandmother's passing, her little cousin passing, and that her great-grandmother doesn't want to fight anymore. She has cancer. So she starts to tear up, and she says she's so close to getting a therapist. And I said, please do. Please do. Vanessa told her the same thing. Please get a therapist. I really felt for her. And Vanessa's like, listen, therapy is needed. And then Cree's basically saying, like, as a black woman, it's okay for you to be angry, but it's not okay for you to cry. And in some instances, that is true, because white women tears, yes, black women tears, not so much. But we always get in the angry black woman. So that kind of is what it is. So then Vanessa invites Cree to Brianna's event. And I was like, we're going to see how this turns out. And Cree is asking if it's like, is it an incense party? Because, you know, I'm sensitive to smells. And just making all kinds of little jokes. You know how Cree is. So Tanise and Aaliyah go shopping. And Tanise, you know, brings up that she lost some weight. So, you know, she's feeling good. And Aaliyah got some doggone kitten heels, like itty bitty teeny. I was like, girl. She was like, I can't walk in heels, girl. Then just wear flats. Because she was like, I'm trying. And Tanise says, you know, she's got to watch her spending. And Aaliyah says Eric is still gambling all the time and doesn't answer his phone when he's out. He comes in at 4 or 5 in the morning. Eric is bugging, y'all. So Tanise is asking her how often. And she's like, Monday through Friday if he's not working. Not with kids, sir. We're not going to focus on Eric. We're not going to focus on Eric. And Talise is like, no. It's a no for me, dog. And Aaliyah's like, but he calls me out when I say anything to him. He says it's his money. He checks her. That's what she said. And Tanise is like, I don't care whose money it is. Y'all are paying the bills jointly. Y'all are a family. And you're taking care of the kids. You can see in Tanise's face, she don't play. And JoJo could be the breadwinner if he wants, but you can tell Tanise don't take that. So she's telling her they're a team and she has the right to speak up. So in the confessional, Aaliyah's like, we have 2 different merges. Eric doesn't listen. She's tired. So she's going to run up the card on a little shopping spree. So they start talking about having more kids. And Aaliyah says no, but she doesn't, you know, want to get her tubes tied. And Tanise is like, she thinks that the guy should get a vasectomy because, you know, we carry. And I agree. Plus, a vasectomy is way easier than getting your tubes tied, from what I heard. So then Aaliyah says, oh, you better do it before you move. Tanise is like, Lord knows when that's going to be. And then Aaliyah's like, no, JoJo put in an offer. Eric told me. I don't know why he took Eric with him if he did not want Tanise to know. And Tanise is pissed. So later in the episode, JoJo comes home. He's all happy-go-lucky in his JoJo mood. He has some pizza. You want a slice of pizza, babe? And Tanise sitting on the couch like, nah, I'm good. Little baby sitting in there, and when she goes in the room, it's clear that they need to have a conversation. he had been asking her how was her day. So he's like, you know, what's up? Listen, I was out with Aaliyah. You put in an offer on a house in LA. Is this true? Okay, let me explain. Jojo, he was a little stuttering and stammering because every time Jojo tried to get a word out, like Tanise was like cutting him off. He's like, can you let me speak? Please, can you let me speak? Can you let me get it out? Because like I have pictures. Like, can you just let me tell you like what I was trying to say? So he's telling her he only went to look. Of course, she's not happy that he went without her. He's like, I put in an offer because there was a lot of offers and I don't want to lose it in case you wanted it. But like we can renege. Like it's cool, you know? And I was like, poor Jojo. He's telling her he thought he would surprise her. And then he was going to double check with her and let her see the house. And if she liked the house and she wanted the house, then they would get the house. Then she starts to get upset. And she says, you know, she's scared and she's not prepared. And, you know, they're worried about leaving the East Coast. And he's like, you're the one that said we got to go so we can grow. So he's telling her, listen, it's just an offer. We don't have to get this house. And anything we can do it together. So child, Miss Brianna is having a gauntlet. And Titi's like, Brianna, she just can't have a regular party, can she? So when everybody gets there, she's got like a little, you know, tray of shots. And Vanessa's like, can't take shots. Got to go pick up my daughter soon. The nanny has COVID. Okay. And Cree's like, oh, okay. No shot for me either. I was like, But Cree, I think, was trying to stay on her toes. Let's play some games. Brianna's like, you know, I'm going to have teams and I got shirts and all of that. So this is going to be Brianna's version of Never Have I Ever. And if you're guilty, you're going to take a shot of whatever you touch. You can't smell it. You don't know what's in the shots. And I said that shit is bananas because she had hot sauce in some of them. Never have I ever stuck my nose in someone else's family business. I said messy. Cree's like, everybody should be taking a shot. And everybody does, except for Cree. So then they give us flashbacks of just that, of Cree being in folks' business. And then Vanessa has to go. And Cree wanted to go with her, but she didn't. Perhaps she should have. So then Titi asked about the skate party because she couldn't make it. And Sequoia's like, it was cool, you know, everybody was there. They showed up. We had a good time, you know. Lazy showed up when he wasn't invited. And Titi's asking her, so did you talk to your mom? Sequoia's like, I did. It was more of an argument and it didn't end well. It did not. So Sequoia is saying that she wants her to move the right way and that they're separated. But I think Brianna asked, did they file? And we find out that they have in fact not filed, which I thought she said, but maybe I was wrong, child. So Cree's like, so what exactly is the appropriate way? Sign papers to be divorced, break up before you do your thing. And Sequoia, yes, in a perfect world, that's how things would go. But it doesn't always go that way, and I understand. Cree's like, well, make it make sense. Like, is it just because they're not divorced? Was your mom mad at you when you had a child out of wedlock? I'll knock this table over. Please don't, Sequoia says. And I was with Sequoia because everybody in there had a baby out of wedlock. Cree herself, if she had kept the baby, would have had a baby out of wedlock. So, child, let me proceed. But let me say before I move on, I get what she was getting at, but that wasn't the way because how she said it, I was offended. So Brianna's asking her, she's like, you know, I just want to know what the issue is. Like, what is it? Like, you always have an issue with someone. And Cree's like, I'm just waiting for a question. Like, what's up? And she's like, you know, I don't know everybody. And Sequoia's like, and I feel like you don't want to put the effort into doing so. If we're having a conversation, like, I'm going to talk. I'm not just going to sit here and not say anything. This is what Cree's saying. Brianna's like, do you even want to be here? She's like, I mean, matter of fact, I do have reservations. So Aaliyah in the confessional says that they're both bullheaded. And sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it 100%. Titi's like, why you always have a slick ass comment? And soon as somebody says something, but then Brianna interrupts her and Cree's like, I thought me and you squashed it, child. It was about to get heated in there. In general, yes, your presence annoys me, but you always have your comments. This is TT. Your presence annoys me along with your leave out. Yikes. That was Cree. And I was like, so Brianna's calling her ungrateful and Cree, she's getting up to leave. And as she's leaving, she skips and she, you know, turns around and is like, have fun talking about me on social media. And Bria's like, this is your friend, to Aaliyah. And Leah's like, I mean, we're cool. Like, I don't have anything against her. And Brianna apologizes. And then I put Cree. Aaliyah goes to check on Cree. And Cree done left her doggone dog behind. I said, are you that mad that you left your daggone dog? I'm going to call the people, girl. So she goes out there and they talk. But who cares? Because the whole conversation, Cree was like, and she was like, and Aaliyah looked like she was entirely over it. So then the ladies are inside talking and they don't want her to feel ganged up on. So then Brianna goes outside to talk to her. So Cree is like, she's going to speak her mind. Brianna's going to speak to her. And Cree's like, you got 2 minutes. And Brianna's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. And so Brianna's annoyed, but she tries to relate. And she says she had difficulty relating to people when, she first joined the group. And Cree's like, that's not my problem. Why is this the Cree show? Like, why did you come? Cree says, for Vanessa. And then Brianna basically tells her, listen, if I have something, you're no longer welcome at my stuff. And then she's like, bye. And then Brianna goes inside and Cree gets in the car. And that is where the episode ends. So what were you guys' thoughts on the episode? It wasn't much. I'm tired of hearing Sequoia talk about her mom, y'all. Cree needs a break from the show. And I just don't know. Now, I'll say this because I don't want to say at the beginning of the video, and this way if y'all click off, then I got at least most of my retention. But I was trying to keep up with this whole 7-day situation, and this was the 7th day, the last of the videos. But I got some news, and since I already had these notes for like a week and had never got to it, I figured let me, get to it because I'm really, really behind on growing up hip hop. I'll decide if I feel comfortable, telling you guys what happened, but I will end it here and join me back here for episode 6 sometime this week. Until then, peace.